live stream. So as I said before I switched over, go ahead and back out of that and get on to this live chat. And I wanted to do it at about this time of day. I'm usually a late sleeper, but if I wake up early, I am like super, super early in the morning and I can't get back to sleep. So I was up early and I went and I played around in my garden a little bit. And I sat in my egg chair, which I totally love. That's my little world now. It's like just sitting and floating on a cloud. They're really great. But I wanted everyone to get a chance to stop what they were doing and go in and hydrate, because that's what we need to do. And I forgot to bring my drink outside with me, so maybe I can like flag someone down in my house and they'll bring me something. Hey guys! Hello? Mom's dying. I'm dying. It's too hot. I was talking earlier about the heat and humidity. It fogged over all my windows when I woke up this morning. I got pictures of it. It's weird. St. Louis is weird, and especially where I live, because I'm in Fenton, and so the Merrimack River goes like right around us and then loops back down. And when that happens, anytime there is a storm system heading toward us, and I'm going to talk more about weather in a second. So the storm is coming towards us, and it's like, oh, there's Fenton in the Merrimack River, and it goes whoosh, and it goes all the way around us, and then as soon as it's past the Merrimack River, it comes back together again and just barrels away. So it's not as much fun to me because, you know, I'm a storm chaser, man. That's in my blood. I grew up that way. I mean, my dad, God love him, I miss him a lot. But like, we would hear an ambulance going and literally we would all jump in the car and go see what was going on. So, and that kind of got instilled in me with the weather. But I have had weather-related injuries before. The first one, I was in my teens and I was marching in a parade for my high school color guard. And ever since then, I learned the importance of hydration. So do not overhydrate. People have died of overhydration. Hey, talk about hydration. Bring me a Green River. My pop. So, yeah. So I've been very careful from that point on. I'm just tinkering around in my garden, 10 to 15 minutes at a time, and then I go back inside to cool off and hydrate. And that's what I would recommend anybody do today if you are outside. But I wanted to share some stuff with you guys that I didn't get into a lot of detail before. So we talked about the rebrand because I had gotten away from everything that I had designed what is now Diva Outdoors to be. I kind of got caught up in the whole bushcraft thing, and that was because my husband got caught up in it. And he and I, when we were dating, we just developed this absolute love for the outdoors, and we went camping and fishing whenever we could. And then we had kids, and so it's a little less often, but it's our place, it's our hideaway, it's our therapy. Nobody can get to us, and so that's what we do. And now that our kids are, well, my daughter was 20 months old the time she pitched her first tent by herself. Now granted, it's one of those like little bitty ladybug ones, but she did it herself, and she was under 2 years old. My son went camping for the first time when he was 5 weeks old. So we are pretty hardcore around here. But I want to talk about heat-related illnesses first. So the first time you get it, it's kind of like mono. Once you have it, it's always going to be in your system, and you're always at risk. So you have to take extra care. I see people. Hi, Laura. Hi. Kimberly. Hey. It's good to see you guys. Thanks for joining me. So yeah, first of all, definitely stay hydrated. So the rebrand, I went from Bushcraft Diva to, oh my God, now it's telling me my phone has to cool off because it's too hot outside. Is this ridiculous? I'm like blocking it with a can of spray paint, because I want my phone to cool off. I might have to go inside. Um, anyway, if this stops, someone give me a thumbs up. Uh, oh, hey there too. So I rebranded because the vision I had for Bushcraft Diva, which I now rebranded into Diva Outdoors, was I wanted to take everyday common women and push them just one little step beyond their comfort zone and give them the skills to do that and do it right alongside with them if they needed someone to be with them. So that's why I rebranded, because it's not just about bushcraft and that kind of stuff. It's about everything outdoors. And I love cooking. I love family time together. You know, I want women to learn and understand these skills so they can go with their significant other and go camping and fishing and hiking or whatever it is that you guys decide you love to do. And bring your family along with you. And it's just been kind of a lifestyle for us, and a really cool one at that. So, so that was the rebrand. I also had to take some personal time. I had to take a lot of personal time. For those of you who don't know, starting in 2016, I started with migraines when I was 13 years old, but 2016 hit me, and I started having these severe, intractable migraines. And like right now, I am on 34 on the same migraine cycle. I'm almost 3 years with the same dang headache. And I haven't driven my van in 3 years. It was new pretty much when I got it. So my daughter loves having her own vehicle. Both my kids have their own vehicles right now, and they take care of them. I spent a lot of time in hospitals and neurologist hopping and therapist hopping, because that kind of stuff really does a number on your head. And I finally figured out that I was completely over medicated. I was on 26 medications at one time at a point in my life. That's insane. I mean, seriously, I had a handful that like doubled over, and I, eat it, and that was my breakfast. I was full. So I finally found this doctor who did a genealogy test on me and figured out what my body could and couldn't metabolize. And he saved my life. He weaned me off of these medications. I still went a couple times up to the Diamond Headache Clinic up in Chicago, and I had also gone to the Mayo Clinic, and they wanted me to call back and reschedule once I was off the majority of my medications, which I did. So we're just waiting to hear on that. But by this strange fluke, I had chest pains one night. And so I went to the ER, because I don't mess around with that. And the doctor who was there, he said, hold on a second, I'm going to try something on you. I just want to see how your body responds to it. And he said, it's just a very tiny dose. And he came back in a few minutes later, and he said, wow, that worked. That's great. I'm going to give you another dose, just a little bit more. And okay, it happened, and it was weird. Like, I was watching Mario Brothers happen in front of me. It was psychedelic thing going on. So then he told me that what he had given me was ketamine, which scared the crud out of me, because that's what killed Matthew Perry. And I never would have agreed to it had I known what it was before. But it literally took my whole migraine, and it went, and I heard this, it went, and it put it in this one little tiny place right here in my head. Now over time it went back, but hey, keep shining. What is that? Okay. I see Jory. I see Robert. LOL. My knockers? What, did I say my knockers? Did I say that? What would I have said that for? By the way, thank you all for what you've done for me, because first of all, when I went to college, I went to college for broadcasting. I wanted to be a meteorologist or, radio personality. And I had to kick the habit of having vocal pauses. Okay, the phone is telling me it's too hot, and so we are going to go in. Okay, guys, so wow, I look fantastic. Oh my gosh. This is what happens when you get up at 5 in the morning and do your hair, try not to wake anybody else up. I really hope that some of you guys can jump back on because I do have a lot to share. And so my phone overheated, it died, and I ran straight into the house and threw it in the freezer. And while I was letting it cool off, I got my pop, my Green River. This is, for me, this is gold. This is liquid gold to me. You can only find it in Chicago, which is where I grew up. You know what? I think I'm going to send a quick, hey, we're back up live, if you just bear with me. Really. But I'm live. Okay. So let's just hope that other people are able to pop back on. And I'm just give me a second. You guys are so awesome with me and giving me the grace that I need, because some days I know I'm a mess. And that's also something I want to address. But we're just gonna, they're back live again. And I think it kicked everybody off again. This is flipping ridiculous. I swear. Satan is out there and he is working against me. Please come back. Welcome to chat. I can't read because I'm blind. Did you guys know that? I'm blind. Huh. Anyway, chat is open. Yep. Okay. Well, at least somebody's come back. I hope more people do. I saw someone put something up about my knockers. JJ the man, please can you send a shout out my dead hamster Rapey? What happened to Rapey? That's sad. I was talking yesterday with my mom about all my dead hamsters. Because I got to go back to my childhood house. It was up for sale. And then my mom and I were talking yesterday, and I was like, can you imagine the horrors of the people who bought that house after us? Because our garden was nothing but like those boxes that they used to send you like actual bank checks in. It was those boxes, and we put all of our dead pets in them and like covered them with a Kleenex and put a stick of licorice in or stickers or something like that. And then we had a funeral in the backyard, and we buried all of these pets. And I just could not imagine being the person who bought the house and found all these dead pets. He got ran over. I did just laugh. Renee, hi. I'm so happy to see you. How am I? I am doing great. So that's the next thing I'm getting into about outside of rebranding. I am so sorry, JJ. I'm sorry about your hamster. My first one's name was Gretel from Hansel and Gretel. And then I had a Cinnamon, and then I had a Schminkman, I think was my last one's name. But, so, no, yeah, I know, total pet cemetery in the yard. I would, if that was my yard, I'd be like, babe, put the for sale sign back up on the house. We are not living here. It's like pet cemetery. I'm not doing it. And if you've never seen the original version of that movie, don't. It will mess you up. Worst movie ever? I'm going to say it right now, and then comment down below what your worst movie ever is. Mine is Gummo. That movie messed me up so bad for years. I don't even know how I came across it, but it totally messed me up. It was ridiculous. Very frightening. Do not watch it. Midsummer was kind of close to that as well. So yeah, we did the rebrand thing. I did the rebrand because I wanted to reach out to women and make them feel comfortable so they could go out with their significant others and eventually make it a full family thing and have the skills to do it and not feel like they're helpless and that they're empowered. I've always been, there's a very distinct line between femininity and feminism, And I'm all about empowerment, but empowerment with grace, because that is how God made us to be, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not going to push my beliefs on you. Everybody's entitled to their own beliefs. That's what's beautiful about America. And we don't get killed for it. So that's really cool. So the next thing I was going to talk about, I had to take a lot of time off. When I was 13, I started with migraines. When I got to 2016, something happened. Something neurological happened to me. I don't know what it was. I don't think we ever figured it out. But my migraines started, and they were intractable, and I was literally bedridden for days. And so right now, I am in the 34th month of my current migraine cycle. That's almost a full 3 years of the same migraine, and it's stolen from me. It's stolen from my family. It's horrible. But I went into the ER a couple months ago because I was having chest pains, and I know one thing: you do not mess with chest pains. So I went to the ER, and the doctors were like, "Well, we can't find anything really with you, but I just want to give this a try." So he said, "This is a very low dose. I just want to see how your body responds to it." And he gave me a low dose of something, and my body responded just fine. And he came back to the room, and he's like, "Okay, your body did really well. I want to try that one more time, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of a larger dose." And I will tell you what, kids, no sooner was this in my body, and I was watching Super Mario Brothers happening in front of me. Like, there were mushrooms, and there were briefcases with question marks on it. I was wondering if Howie Mandel was going to run into the room. And I could see, like, it was like my brain, everything that was in my brain was flying out into front, all these different cases, and it was compartmentalizing everything and putting it all in its place. It was the weirdest thing. And then all of a sudden it kind of wore off. And my husband was like, his jaw was on the ground. His eyes were this big. He's like, "That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my entire life." And he saw me give birth twice. So I'm going to have to say that was probably pretty freaky. But it was ketamine that the doctor gave me, which scared me to death, because that's what killed Matthew Perry. And I was not comfortable with it. But it did. At the very end of my experience, I felt and I heard, and my migraine was isolated to this very slight, tiny piece of my head. And yeah, it was miraculous. So we started looking into ketamine, and I really didn't want to do ketamine. And I went to my doctor, who had once before saved my life. So we're going to backtrack just for a second to 2016. 2016, these migraines started. And I went from doctor to doctor to doctor, trying to find something that would help, something that would get me out of bed. And I just went doctor to doctor to doctor. And instead of looking at me as a patient, they just threw more medications on me. And at one point in my life, I literally, a hand to God, was on 26 different medications at one time. And I just couldn't live like that anymore. I mean, I had a handful of medication, and I'd throw it in my mouth in the morning, and I was so full I couldn't eat breakfast. So I found Dr. C, and I contacted him, and he agreed to see me. And I'll tell you what, this guy, he saved my life. He did a DNA test on me, and found out that my body was not metabolizing certain medications. And so they had, over the years, built up all this toxicity in me. And he looked at me and he said, I'm very shocked that you're actually here today. You should be dead. So he went through the process of weaning me off of all these medications. With my migraines, I've also been up to the Diamond Headache Clinic about 12 times. I've been to the Mayo Clinic. They wanted me to schedule a return appointment after I was off of all these medications, which Dr. Chisti did, but it's a process. So it took like 6 months to get off before I could even call the Mayo Clinic to go back. So now we're fast forwarding back to the ketamine treatments, and there's a clinic here in St. Louis that does it, but it's not covered by insurance. I was not comfortable with the doctor. I had a meeting with him. It's $5,000 and it is not covered by insurance. So we met with the doctor, we prayed about it, and then Dr. C hopped into my mind, and I was like, I can't do this without talking to him first. You know, he saved my life. I've got to at least hear what he has to say about it. So we went and I sat down with Dr. C and I told him what was going on. And he's like, no, 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 you are not doing ketamine at all. And he said, I've been doing S-ketamine from the day it started. And S-ketamine is in the same family as ketamine, but it doesn't have that massive psychedelic effect that pure ketamine does. And so the first time I went in for therapy, it was like their nasal sprays. So the first time it was kind of like, I feel a little loosey goosey. The second time was like, I kind of feel like I'm floating on a cloud. And they had given me 2 spray injections the second time. Third time I went in, they gave me 3. And everything went really weird from there. But it was not only helping with my migraine, but I have PTSD, pretty significant PTSD. I have panic, I have anxiety, I have agoraphobia, I have depression, I have PTSD. So, you know, I've got 5 medals right now. So things started unpacking out of my head, and I was able to get emotional. I was able to get things out. And each appointment, I've been getting more and more and more out, and it was just amazing. It was yesterday, I have to say, was miraculous. My husband and I, he's been in every treatment with me except for one, because he was out of town, and he and I sat down and had a conversation that we have never been able to have before, because it would hurt him and I would start screaming at him. So we had this conversation, and I'll tell you what, we leveled up. He and I have been together for 30 years, and we had talked out so much during this 2-hour session. When I walked out, I was completely in love with him in a way that I never even knew was possible before. It was a new kind of love. And I feel horrible that I didn't show him that kind of love, but I didn't know it existed. So, but we talked through a lot of things. We talked through resentments we had between each other, and that was very helpful. And I think we both see each other very differently today. So, I mean, that was massive. If you guys are dealing with a migraine or you're dealing with emotional issues, feel free to contact me, and I can put you in touch with my doctor or somebody that he knows who practices the same way in his field that he does. And yes, look, when my phone went dead, I ran into the house, threw the phone into the freezer, waited for it to booze up. I got my gold, my Green River. I'm going to Chicago next week, and whenever I go to Chicago, I literally go to the Jewel and I grab every single bottle that is on the shelf. And if I'm there for, 4 or 5 days, I'll hit more than one Jewel and clean them out. So, this is Chicago Gold. This is the one redeeming quality of Chicago right here. And my birthday's coming up. I'm just saying, So, September 4th is my birthday. I love Green River. Actually, and it is going to be my birthday. So, I don't want you to drop this down in the chat. I want you to DM me. Tell me, unless you're someone who knows me really well, tell me how old you think I'm going to be in a message. And whoever guesses it, don't Google or anything. Let's be fair about this. And whoever gets it right first, I'm going to I'm going to send you something. I'm going to send you some Diva swag. So, yeah, so that's the esketamine. I am still going through esketamine. It's going to go on for a couple months before I just have to go through like maintenance checkup. But if that's something that you think would help you, feel free to contact me. All of my students all have my direct number. If you've ever watched any of my YouTubes or shows or videos, and you've done any of the sewing projects or food, cooking, kombucha, canning, anything like that, I consider you a student. And if you ever hit a point where you need some help or you need to troubleshoot, my phone number, I give this out to all my students, so I might as well just put it out here right now, is 636-675-4003. Don't ever hesitate to call me. I will walk through what you need with you. I do screen all my calls, so you're going to have a little Google assistant to talk to and just immediately say that you're a student and you need some help. Thank you, Sarah, about the glasses. Hi. I wear green glasses because of my migraine. It helps. So I wear the green glasses. I got the piercing. That didn't do anything. I get the Botox stuck in my head 39 times. I wish they would do crow's eyes and all the good stuff, but they don't do it. But yeah, I know I've ordered 3 pairs of these and I can still only find one. But so yeah, the esketamine, please, if you feel that you need help or you are dealing with some kind of emotional or mental health thing, reach out. I am happy to help you in any way I can, and I'm a safe ear. I believe that lips sink ships. I don't gossip. I don't talk. I don't do any of that stuff. So that being said, I hope you've all had a little time to come in and cool down and rehydrate. I'm sorry that everything got so messed up as many times as it did. I am just resigned to the fact that Satan hates me and he doesn't want me getting online, doing anything that's going to be beneficial to others. So I really appreciate you guys just taking a little time out and spending it with me. It means a lot to me, and I hope that you get something out of it too. If there's some kind of video or something that you would like to see me do, drop it in the comments below. Just say, hey, I'd really like to find out how to blah, 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 or see you blah, blah, blah. And I'm more than happy to do that. I've got a couple live events coming up that I'm going to be at and I'll be teaching at. I'm very excited about those, and I'm going to be putting those dates up as well. But I'm going to get more YouTubes going. I'm going to get shorts up every week. I'm going to get a class or an episode up every week. I have learned through trial and error, the stupidest thing I've ever done is say, hey, I'm going to throw up a video for you guys on Thursday. And then it's like 4 o'clock on Thursday afternoon, and my whole week just happened, and I haven't gotten it out. So I'm not going to say exactly when I'm going to put it up until it's actually finished and edited. So thank you guys for dropping by. Stay hydrated, stay cool, come inside, do things in slow spurts, and I will catch you guys at the next pop-up, maybe the next short, maybe the next episode, who knows. But like I said, DM me if you need help. DM me how old I am going to turn in September without Googling or cheating. To be honest with you, I don't know how old I'm going to be. I always forget. I'm always off by a year. But I'm going to cut it short here, let you guys go, get on with your day, have a blessed weekend, stay safe, hug your loved ones, and I will catch you the next time. Take care.